Hello, everyone. I just want to send out, one final message before September 23rd to provide some clarity on what could be happening in the coming days and beyond, and just give one final word of encouragement to all of you. So the 23rd, 24th, again, just to recap. About a third of the Bible is prophecy. Over 2,500 prophecies have already been fulfilled to 100% accuracy. There's still more to come. The Bible seems to indicate in Hosea chapter 6, verse 2, that Jesus is going to be coming back 2,000 years after his death and resurrection. A lot of signs that prophecy in Daniel 9 seems to indicate that Jesus' death was prophesied to happen in 32 AD, and then 2,000 years later would be 2032. So according to the Bible, it looks like Jesus is going to come to the earth in 2032 to rule the earth for 1,000 years. And so I know the rulers in the world today, maybe they're doing the best that they can, but obviously there's a lot of war and famine and disease and violence and hatred in this world. Well, when Jesus comes to rule the earth, there's only going to be love and peace and harmony. It's going to be the most amazing, wonderful 1,000 years in Earth's history. It's going to be incredible. So all of us have that to look forward to. It's going to be just wonderful. The Bible seems to clearly indicate also, though, that there is going to be a tribulation period of 7 years before Jesus returns. That is going to be the worst 7 years in Earth's history. And the purpose of it is going to be for people who don't have 100% faith in Jesus, that Jesus has saved them, to shake them up, to show them that, okay, you may be a professing Christian, but you think that you have to do good works in order to earn your salvation. Well, that's not the case. God's standard is perfection, and so there's no amount of good works that you can do to save yourself. You have to rely 100% on Jesus, the free gift that is being offered to you by God's grace and God's grace alone. And so, there's going to be that. Then there's going to be people who just don't believe in Jesus at all. So the purpose of tribulations is to shake these people up and to show them that Jesus is real, and that he's not, and that he's serious, and that he wants that faith. Like it's a non-negotiable, having that faith with him and of him. So that basically there's another signs, and there's a mystery in the Bible called the Rapture that seems to have been revealed by Paul in several other verses, but also in many typologies in the Old Testament. Seems to indicate that people who do have the faith in Jesus and already are believers and already have that eternal salvation, they're going to get raised into heaven before the 7-year tribulation, because they already have that faith that Jesus is looking for. So he's not going to subject them to this 7-year tribulation period. And so that's the rapture event. There's no way to know. There aren't going to be any earthly signs of these things coming, only prophetic signs that are in the Bible, and numerology and typologies, and signs in the stars, and signs in the sun and the moon, and dreams and visions. In Acts chapter 2 verse 17, and in Joel chapter 2 somewhere, God says that in the end he's going to pour out his spirit onto the earth, and people are going to have dreams and visions again and be able to prophesy again. And so when you add all of that up, the people that are looking at this, not everyone agrees, but a lot of people who have looked at this, some of them have been looking at this stuff for 40 or 50 years. They all seem to agree that all the prophetic signs, all the numerology, all the typologies, all of the signs in the sun and earth and stars, and now thousands of personal accounts of dreams and visions about a rapture happening on September 23rd or 24th, or the Great Tribulation starting on the 23rd and 24th of September this year. They're all of them have converged to these two dates, and so there's no way any of us are going to be able to know for sure with the only thing that I can share is that all the signs are pointing to these 2 days. And so if we go past these 2 days and nothing happens, then that means there's so many hundreds and hundreds of signs and verses in the Bible and typologies and things that we have collectively misunderstood, and we've allowed ourselves to be deceived. And of course, that's entirely possible because, well, at least I'll speak for myself. I'm a fallible human being. I'm a sinner. I do not understand all of God's ways. God is infinitely smarter than me. He can do what he wants. Certainly acknowledge that myself and others, we could be deceived. But right now, all I can say is I have this complete faith and belief in my heart that this is going to happen, and that, again, hundreds and hundreds of signs all converge. And so that's, again, so what to expect if this is really happening. So if it happens tomorrow, my best understanding, and some of this is now speculating now, this is not, there's some verses in the Bible that hint to this possibly, but not concrete enough for me to say that this is biblical. This is just more speculation. That I don't know if the whole world will hear this, or maybe just the people who are going to get raptured. There'll be a sound of a trumpet blast. It'll be Jesus' voice, but it'll sound like a trumpet to have us look up into the air, and then in a split second, or get caught up into the clouds. There's going to be, and those the first before that happens, the people alive, the people who are dead in the ground, whatever remains are left of them, are going to get caught up into the air, and there's going to be enough of a force onto the earth, like from this, that the earth will possibly shake for like a split second, and everyone will feel it, like this like sudden shaking, and they're, unfortunately, like if like a airplane pilot is flying at the time of the rapture, that plane is going to crash, or someone driving in a car, just suddenly disappears, or that car is going to crash into something else. So there'll probably be some mass auto accidents and plane crashes around the world happening simultaneously. The force will be so great that there'll probably be several earthquakes, and maybe some big ones that go off around the same time as well. It'll be enough of a crazy event that it's going to cause, most likely a bunch of chaos and mass confusion. It's certainly possible there could be other things happening. Satan knows the Bible better than we do, and so if we're right about this, and that he will have already known that this rapture event's going to happen, and he'll know around the timing of it, and so he'll have a narrative ready to go through the media. And he might even, to the extent that God would allow it, he might cause like blackouts or military conflicts, massive military strikes, or some other, major things happening simultaneously to cause mass confusion, to really, steer people away from believing that this was a rapture event. Shortly thereafter, the UN would confirm an agreement, like a peace agreement between Israel and a bunch of other countries. Most people believe that the agreement will be a 7-year agreement, but it's also possible that it's a indefinite, open-ended, quote-unquote permanent agreement that the Bible says is 7 years because it's only going to last for 7 years because the tribulation period is 7 years long. I'm not sure if it'll be for 7 years or just an indefinite agreement, but it'll be a peace agreement that the UN will sign here, maybe on the 24th, or later this week. That would be the start of the tribulation, and then there's going to be 21 judgments during the 7-year tribulation. The first 4 judgments will include war, famine, disease, and death. 25% of the Earth's population is going to die during these first 4 judgments alone, and then there's 17 more judgments coming after that. So I just have never been good at expressing emotions. Like it could be like a fire on all around me, and I would just have this calm voice. So all I can say, it's horrifying. Like I can't express my emotions. I know what I'm saying. It is. I mean, none of us can imagine how horrific it's going to be, and so it's terrifying. I'm afraid for all of us. anyone who gets left behind, I'm afraid for them. And it could be me. Like maybe if I have the wrong gospel, then I'm going to get left behind. And so I'm going to be afraid for myself. But, and so that's basically what could happen, if this is going down. And so I just have one last request for all of you, and that is to please pray on this today. Please, anyone who's seeing this, take this to God and just pray for him to give you a sign of what's to come. If this is really happening, to show you a sign that it's coming, and to show you a sign of what is the true gospel, and to have it to believe in your heart. Again, my belief of the gospel is that you believe in your heart authentically that Jesus is real, that he died and was raised from the dead to redeem all of your past, present, and future sins, and that when you put your faith and belief in him, that he did that for you, and you believe that he has saved you, and you believe that there's no amount of good works that you can do to save yourself, that it's only 100% trust in him. And then you confess that to him in a short prayer. You say that with your mouth to him. Jesus, I understand that I'm a sinner, and that the Father requires perfection. And so sin, given that the penalty for sin is death, I have no way of saving myself. And I understand and recognize that I needed you. I needed you to save me. I believe that you died and was resurrected, and through that process that you have saved me. Your perfect blood has redeemed me. I believe it. I believe in you. I surrender my life to you now, and I invite you to come into my heart, and I'm ready to have a relationship with you. Jesus, and say that in a prayer, and do that before tomorrow, if it's in your heart. Yeah, that would be it. I know this is a serious message. I'm not really going to say much more, other than if I'm wrong about this, I will never speak about a date publicly ever again, because I will clearly have disqualified myself from doing it. I will also send out an apology video for those who have believed in what I'm saying and are disappointed as a result of it not happening, particularly the rapture. Not the tribulation, of course. So I will send out an apology video, but I will continue to try to help anyone who has questions about the gospel, or who wants to talk about the gospel, or as I progress in my walk and can explain the gospel more eloquently and concisely, I'll continue to try to do that if I can. But otherwise, this will be the last video that I'll share with everyone. And I love all of you. I'm praying for all of you. For those of you who believe that I'm crazy or completely deceived or stupid, or who hate me and hate this message, I just want you to know that I completely understand. I understand it, and I love you, and I don't mean any offense, and I love you no matter what. And heaven is going to be so beautiful. There's mansions up there that we're going to have. We're going to be, when we go into heaven, we're going to receive these immortal, glorified bodies, like these superhuman bodies, and they're going to be immortal. It's just going to be absolutely incredible. For those of us who get raised into heaven, if it happens tomorrow, like before the tribulation period, we're going to have a big wedding feast in heaven. We're going to have our glorified bodies, and then we're going to come back with Jesus when he comes back in 2032. We're going to help him reign the earth for the next 1,000 years, and we're going to help humanity who's still left on the earth then to repopulate the earth and live in peace and harmony and joy. And so it's going to be amazing. And then our final home in the new earth and the new heaven, wherever that ends up being, we're all going to be together. All of us, none of the relationships that you have here on the earth are going to be lost. You're going to have them all, including your pets. It's going to be so beautiful. It's going to be impossible to imagine it. So that's how much Jesus loves you and loves us. He died and was tortured, and made this sacrifice of no fault of his, so that we could have this beautiful life with him and this fellowship with him. That even all the beautiful things we have in this world now, as beautiful as some of them are, it's going to be infinitely better in this new realm that we're going to be a part of. So even though this is a heavy message and the 7-year tribulation could be staring at us in the face, for those of us who aren't raptured, it's going to be beautiful in the end. It's going to be amazing. So I encourage you not to be afraid of any of this. I encourage you to pray to God today, before the rapture happens. And I encourage you to, if it's in your heart that you really believe and have faith in Jesus, to confess that to him in that simple prayer. And then I just encourage you just to keep your eyes on Jesus and on this beautiful realm that's coming for us. So I can't think of anything else to say. If there's anything else, maybe I'll jump on one last video and add it. But otherwise, this is it. Thank you very much. I love you so much. God bless all of you. And I hope and pray that we will all see each other in heaven here this time within the next 48 hours and have this beautiful life together. God bless.